we look at Solid Energy, and it was trundling along as a state-owned enterprise quite nicely, and government apparently instructed the new CEO to borrow a lot of money and to make a set of manoeuvres which ended up sinking the company. Now, the restructuring of that ends up with the banks becoming the shareholders. And what we've actually seen there is an asset stripping of the taxpayers' interests instigated by government, and they've actually got rid of an asset without us having gone through the asset sale process.
Yes, that's interesting, isn't it? It's kind of a bookkeeping exercise, probably.
It's very effective, and the public had no say in it whatsoever.
Well, I'd be interested to know which bank they used to borrow the money from, because the actual, there's an interesting matter that happened in 2006. Westpac, in Australia and New Zealand in actual fact, their securities side, which I think it's got a special name on it, Depository Bank, was taken over by HCBS, which is the Hong Kong Shanghai Banking Corporation. And if you go back into the history of that, which I like to do, the histories of banks, it's the actual bank that was set up by the British East India Company. British East India Company was the big drug dealer running out of Hong Kong, and it was set up in Hong Kong to deal with the money that they were, at that time, legally collecting from drug dealing. They forced the Chinese into, accepting the drugs through Hong Kong. Because it was what was called a triangle trade. They would grow the drugs in India. They would buy the drugs, opium at that stage. They would buy the opium in India, ship it to Hong Kong. Hong Kong would pay in tea from memory, and then the tea was sold for silver. It was a trade basically run by the British Empire. It's amazing that people don't know what the opium wars were, but that's why Hong Kong had to be handed back to the Chinese in 1997, because it was taken as part of the opium war when the British were trying to keep the opium trade going and wanted to keep using Hong Kong as an opium dealership. But the opium dealers, in the form of the East India Company, wanted to get out of that, and Malay trading companies, they wanted to get out of it, and so they set up the bank, handed the opium trade over to the triads, set up the Hong Kong Shanghai Banking Corporation to actually shuffle the money around. Hong Kong Shanghai Banking Corporation in 2006 took over the control of all our securities in New Zealand. Now, securities, for example, you're just talking about the state-owned asset called Solid Energy. The securities in that would be the land that the mines are on, the dams, etc., etc. And like the Prime Minister might say, oh, well, we're not selling them any land, we're just selling them shares in the company. But in actual fact, those shares would be not worth anything if you didn't have a piece of, if you didn't have a turbine sitting on a riverbed producing electricity, which then you on-sold to people. So yes, it's an asset strip. And it's interesting that I'd really like to know who they got the money from. But I would hazard a guess that it was HSBC. But they hide behind Westpac. And you'll see that Westpac, of course, is the government banker.
Yes.
If you ever have to pay a fine, you can pay it through
And then the deal can go through the past kind of...
The more we look at it, the more we have to wake up. It's all a means of asset stripping.
It is.
Even the Radio Works was a bit controversial. The before the election, the National gave Radio Works, I believe it was, a loan, was it $37 million.
I remember that, yes,
Which
36
of course,
or 7, yes.
of course that won't have any influence on whether Radio Works, or how Radio Works will portray government.
Yes, and how much they report or don't report is the more important
And
matter.
then of course there was a default on loans, and Radio Works in its restructuring ends up with major shares to the bank. So the banks now own it. It's just another form of shifting asset into corporation ownership. It's taken from the people, the government is stealing directly from the taxpayer and handing over the assets to corporations.
Yes, and I guess that one of the main reasons in terms of why I made this presentation this morning to the Select Committee is that people need to clear their minds about money. It's an emotional matter, and see clearly that in actual fact there is no justification in hurting people for so-called money.
I would have to agree with that.
No
Absolutely.
justification.